A Less Than Royal Narcissist, Part 27. Gayle King. The Use of the Coterie to Control. It has been reported that Prince Harry spoke with Prince William and Prince Charles over the weekend. How are we aware that these conversations took place? Well, contrary to popular belief, the Tudor bugging devices were not activated. So how do we know that these conversations occurred? Perhaps Prince Charles announced that they had taken place. No. Perhaps Prince William made the announcement that he had had a conversation with his brother. No. Then Prince Harry must have announced it, surely. No, he didn't either. So, how do we know about these conversations? Well, the existence of them was revealed by Gayle King, a presenter of CBS This Morning. What is Gayle King's relevance? She is a presenter of an American morning television program with roughly 3 million viewers. Therefore, she has a reasonably substantial audience that she can reach. She also just happens to be a friend of Meghan Markle, having attended Miss Markle's baby shower in 2019. Assuming that the conversations did take place, and there's nothing to suggest that Miss King's bona fides is impaired, then these private conversations that took place have been relayed to a CBS presenter, who then doesn't keep them to herself, but airs them on her channel. What's going on here? First of all, the relaying of these private conversations to Gayle King is a lack of boundary recognition and done through a sense of entitlement. Now you might think, well, given the fact that this person is a friend, presumably one is not prohibited from having a discussion with a friend about something that has gone on within the family. Indeed, you'd be right. But of course, what you have to remember is the conversation has been relayed from an individual who is a narcissist. And therefore, because they are a narcissist, the pursuit of the prime aims, fuel and control, character traits and residual benefits is at the forefront of the narcissism. Remember, the narcissist is unconscious and unaware of why they are actually doing this. But that is the driving force behind the behaviour. Ordinarily, somebody who'd recognise boundaries, have emotional empathy for those affected by the conversations, instead would do something like either not talk about it to anybody else, respecting the fact that it is a private conversation between members of a family, or might mention to a friend, but explain this was private and is not to be disclosed. What we have here is an indirect assertion of control over the royal family, and it is also part of facade management. You see, Gayle King is what is known as a member of the Coterie. All narcissists have a coterie, their sizes differ. These are friends, family, colleagues, acquaintances, neighbours of the narcissist who, in essence, support and side with the narcissist. The members of the coterie believe that what they do is being done for appropriate and correct reasons. They don't regard themselves as being manipulated by the narcissist. The narcissist doesn't sidle up to the friend and go, "Psst, listen, I'm really manipulative and I need you to go and put a brick through the window of my former girlfriend's car. Will you do that for me?" The reason being is that individual will go, "No, I'm not getting involved in that kind of monkey business. No, thank you." Instead, the narcissist will approach the individual and say something along the lines of, "I'm having a really tough time at the moment, mate. Well, what's up?" "Well, you know my ex?" Yeah. The one that ran off with that bloke and always treated you badly because, of course, the smearing has been going on from the narcissist about that true victim for some time. Yes, that's her. Well, you'll never guess what. The fucking bitch, she fleeced me as part of the money that she owed me, and she's only now gone and bought a new car and is rubbing my face in it. I can't fucking believe it, says the friend. That's absolutely disgusting. Yep. Not only did she shit on me by cheating on me, dumps me, she then doesn't give me my money back, and the next thing she's swanning around in a brand new car, really rubbing my face in it. What is happening here is the narcissist is asserting control over the friend directly by talking about how hard done to they've been, pity play, smearing, of course, the ex, and then they're not suggesting that the friend do anything. Of course, the friend, believing what they're being told, having a sense of injustice about how their friend is being treated by this villainous and poisonous ex, may well then take it upon himself to issue a degree of retributive justice against the narcissist on behalf of their friend. They may even go and do it without the narcissist knowing about it, but it is a collateral consequence of the smearing that has occurred. Or they may even say, look, we need to teach her a lesson. What do you have in mind, says the narcissist. Well, why don't I go and key her car or put a window through? That'll stick it to her. Well, you sure? Yeah, I'll do it tonight. She won't know who's done it, and it can't be linked to you. No problem, mate. Thanks, appreciate you doing it. The narcissist never suggested it. Of course, he endorsed the action. So in some instances, the member of the coterie will either take it upon themselves because they are angry, disgusted by the treatment of the narcissist, by the other individual who has been smeared and portrayed as an unpleasant and hurtful person, or they offer a solution as to how the matter can be addressed so that the narcissist goes along with it. Remember, the narcissist perceives that they are the victim. They are not some Machiavellian Dr. Evil sat in a hollowed-out volcano going, bwah-ha-ha-ha, how can I make this person's life a misery? There are narcissists that operate that way, but they're very rare. Most narcissists will see themselves as the victim, complain about their treatment, complain about the perceived injustice, resulting in a response from the friend trying to support the narcissist, which then results in an unpleasant act being meted out as against the true victim. And this is where the coterie operates. Members of the coterie don't realise that they've been effectively brainwashed by the repeated smearing, pity plays, flattery and praise of the narcissist, so they side with the narcissist. They see the true victim as the problem because they've been fed a diet of complaint about them. The member of the coterie doesn't see that they are being manipulated, and also doesn't see that what they are doing is something that is problematic. Indeed, they invariably are acting out of their own empathy a lot of the time, trying to help, believing that what they are doing is appropriate. And in the circumstances, they are motivated for what they believe are genuine reasons. Gayle King is a member of Meghan Markle's coterie. So what occurred? Well, Gayle King stated, well, I'm not trying to break news, but I did actually call them to see how they were feeling, evidencing an apparent concern for them. And it's true, Harry has talked to his brother, and he has talked to his father too. Disclosure, lack of boundary recognition in the information being given to Gayle King to begin with. The word I was given was that those conversations were not productive, but they are glad that they have at least started a conversation. So, Gayle King becomes the mouthpiece of Meghan Markle and also of Prince Harry, acting in tandem under the control of his wife. Gayle King continued, and I think what is still upsetting to them is the palace keeps saying they want to work it out privately, but yet they believe these false stories are coming out that are very disparaging against Meghan still. This is provocation, partially pity play, also projection. So it's being a mouthpiece for Meghan Markle, saying it's upsetting to her and Prince Harry that apparently the palace are saying they want to work it out privately, but then it becomes accusatory and provocative, suggesting that these apparent false stories are being leaked and are disparaging against Meghan Markle. So it's a pity play issued on behalf of a member of the Coterie. It is the indirect assertion of control through what this Coterie member is saying. It's provocative, and it's also suggesting hypocrisy on the part of the royal family, amounting to projection. Gayle King continued, "No one in the royal family has talked to Meghan yet, at this particular time." Pity play. And I think it's frustrating for them to see that it's a racial conversation about the royal family, provocation, pity play, when all they wanted all along was for the royals to intervene, assertion of control, sense of entitlement, you do what we want, and tell the press to stop with the unfair, inaccurate, false stories that definitely have a racial slant, need to assert control. And until you can acknowledge that, I think it's going to be hard to move forward. But they both want to move forward with this facade management, and they both want healing in this family. Assertion of control, what we want, and facade management. At the end of the day, that is Harry's family. The bullying thing was raised in 2018, and now there's an ongoing investigation about bullying from Meghan Markle, when anyone who has worked with her will tell you exactly who she is. I don't think Gayle King has realised what she's saying there, and that there are individuals that have worked with Meghan Markle who are indeed saying precisely what she is. Thereafter she continues, you know she's a very sweet, caring person, presentation of facade, and as I say, Meghan has documents to back up everything that she said on Oprah's interview, everything. Reference again to these mystical documents which so far haven't appeared. Triangulation, and of course, threat. I have documents which I will reveal. And mid-range narcissists love using threats because the power is in the threat, not the execution. We may never see these documents, and even if we do, they will be documents created at the time merely to support the narrative that is being asserted. It doesn't necessarily follow that they are independent documents. They will have been created as emails, for instance, between Meghan Markle and her supporters, complaining about the things that she says are occurring. That doesn't demonstrate that they actually occurred. All it does is record Meghan Markle's perception of these things through her narcissistic perspective. Gayle King continued, the family has to acknowledge, assertion of control, that there are issues. Right now, no one has acknowledged, Houston, we have a problem here. Well, in actual fact, the Queen's response did acknowledge that they were disappointed and upset to see that there have been challenging times for both Meghan and Harry, so there is an acknowledgement that there's a problem. Now, of course, this may be Gayle King ad-libbing and making a mistake, or, again, she is demonstrating the compartmentalisation of Meghan Markle to say they haven't acknowledged there's a problem, when actually there has been an acknowledgement. Perhaps what she means is there hasn't been an acknowledgement which satisfies Meghan Markle's need for control. She rounds up by saying, that's really all they want. They want a conversation. They both want a conversation. The conversations which took place between Prince Charles, Prince William and Prince Harry will of course been relayed to Meghan Markle by Prince Harry as intimate partner primary source. By telling her what his father and brother are saying, in effect, that will amount to challenge fuel, because it will threaten Meghan Markle's sense of control, because the royal family have not responded in a way which gives her control. Accordingly, her unconscious need for control is threatened. The narcissism then causes her to assert control indirectly by triangulation using Gayle King as a mouthpiece. So Meghan Markle then goes to see or telephones Gayle King and says, oh, Harry had a conversation with his father and his brother, yada, 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 didn't go. All we want is for there to be a conversation. They haven't acknowledged that there's a problem. It was rather frustrating because there's a racial conversation to be had, and I just want them to intervene and stop the horrible press. And all of that is a direct assertion of control from the narcissist to Gayle King, complaining about the treatment, pity play, provocation, smearing. Similar in the example that I gave you earlier in this video of the friend of the narcissist, where the friend is complaining about the girlfriend driving around in the car. Meghan Markle complains about the responses of the royal family relayed through Prince Harry. It threatens her control, so her narcissism responds to address that by, first of all, contacting Gayle King and asserting control over her directly through a pity play. Gayle King, being a member of the Coterie, accepts this, and that's understandable. She accepts what's been said, and then, of course, she then relays that, and does so thinking that she's doing the right thing, in the same way as the friend of the narcissist thought he was doing the right thing, putting a brick through the window of the windshield of the girlfriend's car. Meghan Markle will have not sat down with Gayle King and said, hey, look, Harry spoke to his family, they're not doing what I want you to go and say this. Gayle King would be reluctant because she would feel more that she was being controlled. Instead, the narcissist, unaware of what they are doing, but they are being manipulative because, after all, the individual is a narcissist, issues this pity play. And, of course, the member of the Coterie feels sorry for them. It's not fair that this is happening, and might have suggested, a la the friend with the brick, well, do you know what? Why don't I say something on my show about this? Well, do you think it will help? Says Meghan. Yes, I don't have to go into it in too much detail, says Gayle. I'll just mention that there's been a conversation, but I'll put it in a way whereby demonstrating you're wanting there to be healing and to move things forward. Yeah, why don't you do that? That'll be helpful. Meghan Markle doesn't think, great, here's a really good way for me to assert control over the royal family. I will use Gayle King as my mouthpiece. What she does is, governed by her unconscious narcissism, is complain, issue a pity play, and either Gayle King, feeling sorry for her, makes the announcement, or probably more likely, she has turned around and said, well, why don't I say something on my show to curry a bit of favour for you, portray you in a better light? Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Thank you. After all, I'm just trying to do the right thing here. I only want there to be healing. And thus, Gayle King, as a member of the Coterie, issues this, which is a further response of Meghan Markle to a threat to her control arising from what was discussed between Prince Harry, Prince William, and Prince Charles over the weekend. And, once again, the ongoing saga provides you with a useful opportunity to understand how the narcissist's control is threatened, how the narcissist must respond to that through one of the three assertions of control, here, indirectly, through triangulation, and in this instance, there is the use of a member of the Coterie, and for you to understand how the Coterie operates. As ever, this saga is the gift that keeps on giving and enables you to understand how a narcissist operates. Please ensure that you share this video and my other videos about this ongoing saga involving Meghan Markle and the royal family. Please like the video and subscribe. This is important information which needs to reach individuals utilising a high-profile example to enable understanding and education to be provided. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.